Hi YouTube, welcome back to our 67-day road trip around the US. If you're just joining us, don't worry, you're jumping in at the best part. We've already made our way across Florida, New Orleans, Dallas, and most recently wrapped things up in Albuquerque. But now it's time for some of the most jaw-dropping views of the entire trip. In this episode, we're heading deep into national park country, starting at the Four Corners, hiking through Zion, watching sunsets at Bryce Canyon, standing at the edge of the Grand Canyon, and soaking in the desert magic in Sedona and Phoenix, before wrapping it all up in Las Vegas. Oh, and don't forget, we're still on a mission to collect every Starbucks Discovery Series mug we can get our hands on. Plus, we do our usual pins, magnet, and patches for every stop. So don't forget to buckle up, because this one is the most scenic, exciting, and unforgettable stretch of the whole trip. Next up was a very early start. We left New Mexico and made our way to a spot that I was so excited to visit, the Four Corners. This is the only place in the US where you can visit 4 states at once: New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, and Arizona. It was such a cool little stop, totally surreal to be standing in 4 states at the same time. And yes, even there we found a little shop and grabbed some souvenirs to remember it by. Not one of our official city stops, but definitely one for the memory books. So with that, it's souvenir time! Let's go! On our way from New Mexico to the Four Corners, we officially crossed over into Colorado. New state unlocked! After that, we then crossed over into Utah. New state unlocked! Honestly, at some points, it kind of feels like we're running through these states, but we visited 4 states at once, so what can we say? And for the 3rd time today, we made it into another new state, Arizona. New state unlocked. And Arizona is where we were going to stay. After crossing over, we made our way over to Page, a small town tucked away up high in the northern desert. Fun fact, Page sits at an elevation of over 4,300 feet. On the way, we took a little detour to the Monument Valley, which was so surreal. It's one of those places that you've seen 100 times in movies, and yes, we had to stop at the Forrest Gump running spot where he famously says he's done running. And once we arrived in Page, we made sure to stop at one of the most famous landmarks in the state, Horseshoe Bend. It's even more breathtaking in person. While we were in Page, we stayed at the Red Rock Motel, and honestly, we 100% recommend it. It was super cute, family run, and really affordable, and had that cozy local feel that just made it a perfect base to start the trip. So it was officially time to head back into Utah, which we had dipped our toes in yesterday. Which also meant something a little unexpected: time travel. So here's something wild. In this part of the country, Arizona and Utah are in different time zones, but it depends what time of the year. We kept crossing that state line and literally losing and gaining an hour, like 3 times in 3 days. We were constantly confused, but hey, at least the views made up for it. And even though it's November, we didn't expect it to be so cold. But because of the altitude up here, the temperatures drop fast. But still, we were determined to do one thing while we were at Zion: attempt the Narrows hike, even if they weren't what we expected. Everyone else had this full-on setup: dry suit, waterproof boots, hiking poles, and then there was us, in shorts, freezing, laughing, and just giving it a good go anyway. We didn't make it very far, but it was so much fun, and we're proud to report we kept all of our toes. Even though we didn't get far into the Narrows, Zion ended up being one of our favourite stops of the entire trip. The views, the vibe, the adventure, it just hit different. And of course, that means souvenir time!
Let's go!
So here's a little side note. As part of this road trip, we also decided we wanted to visit as many US national parks as we could along the way. So there's this pass that you can buy called the America the Beautiful Pass, and it gets you into all the national parks for a set price. It's honestly so worth it if you're hitting more than a couple parks, which we definitely were. And Zion was our very first official national park on the trip, and a great way to kick it off. Now I know what you're thinking. Where are all the Starbucks mugs? And trust me, I was wondering the same thing. But sadly, there was no Starbucks in this area. No, zero. Not even a drive-through. So no new mug this time. And I know you're all as heartbroken as I am. But we moved on from Zion to the incredible Bryce Canyon. We got there just in time to watch the sunset, and it was absolutely stunning. Like something out of a painting. But honestly, at this point in the trip, we were pretty exhausted. So after soaking in the view, we headed back to where we were staying that night. Kanab, Utah. However, before we get into that, I think it is time to introduce you to someone very important. Josie, our Jeep Compass that we were traveling across the country in. Now, unfortunately, Josie does not survive this trip, and if you would like to find out what happens to her, you are going to have to check out the next video, so make sure you like, comment and subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you don't miss out. We stayed at the Days Inn and Suite, which was great, and it happened to be Halloween night, so the whole town was out in costume. It was super wholesome, very small town America, and the perfect cozy way to end the day. While we're on the topic of Bryce Canyon, it's souvenir time!
Let's go!
After a whirlwind couple of days in Utah, we started heading back south, crossing over into Arizona. And we were heading somewhere that, well, you've probably never heard of before. It's this tiny little, not very well known at all place called the Grand Canyon. We were finally going to see one of the most famous natural wonders of the world, and let me just say, it lives up to the hype. Now let's get straight into the rankings. We were genuinely blown away by how beautiful the area was. Southern Utah, the red rocks, the canyons, it was next level. As magical as Disney World was, Zion just had that wow factor. The kind of place that makes you feel small in the best way possible. So honestly, Zion goes straight into first place. No hesitation. So yes, we finally made it to the Grand Canyon, and even though you've seen millions of photos, nothing really compares to how massive it is and how unreal it feels in person. Fun fact, the Grand Canyon is about 277 miles long, over a mile deep, and took millions of years to form, carved out by the Colorado River. It's one of the 7 wonders of the world, and honestly, that title is well earned. We didn't have a big hike planned. This stop was more about wandering around the viewpoints and soaking it all in and just standing there and going, oh wow. And of course, we had to get our Grand Canyon souvenirs. Souvenir time!
Let's go!
That night, we made our way into Flagstaff, Arizona, a really cool little mountain town that sits in the heart of North Arizona. We stayed in the Days Inn, which honestly was so nice. There even was a pool, which was exactly what we needed after a few days of hiking, walking, and chasing sunsets and sunrises. Honestly, the couple of days around Bryce, Zion, and the Grand Canyon were some of my favorite days of the whole trip, and we're officially in Flagstaff. So you know what that means. The next day we woke up super early and spent the next couple of hours exploring Sedona. Let's get into ranking the Grand Canyon. And this is going to be a bit of a controversial one. We really thought about where to place it. Because yes, the Grand Canyon is absolutely breathtaking. And you stand there and you're like, how is this even real? And the whole setup is so well organized, from the loop roads to all the viewpoints and the visitor centers. It's seriously impressive. But, and this is the hard part, when it comes to our personal experience and thinking about things that we would want to do again, or places that really surprised us, we decided that the Grand Canyon goes into 4th place. And we were headed straight for Phoenix, Arizona. And you know what that means. Phoenix is the capital of Arizona, and it's also the 5th largest city in the US, which honestly surprised us. It's massive. It's known for year-round sunshine. Phoenix sits right in the heart of the Sedona Desert, which is one of the hottest cities in America, especially in the summer, when temperatures can hit around 110 Fahrenheit, which is about 43 Celsius on a regular. But beyond the heat, Phoenix has this really cool desert landscape, urban sprawl, and southwestern culture that makes it feel like nowhere we've been before. We had such a fun time in Phoenix, starting exploring Scottsdale, which was outside of the city filled with cute shops, galleries, and cafes. We wandered in and out of boutiques, and of course, we hit up the outlets, which were very cool. We went to the cinema, which might sound small, but it was our first time going to the movies in the US, and it was a little fun experience to tick off. But the absolute highlight of our time in Phoenix, and something we were really looking forward to, UTVing through the desert. It was a birthday gift for Alex, and it ended up being so epic. We were zipping through these dusty desert trails surrounded by cactus fields, mountains in the background, and full desert explorer vibes. We would 100% recommend it to anyone heading to Arizona. It was just one of those wow moments of the whole trip. And with that, it's souvenir time!
Let's go!
While we were in Phoenix, we stayed at the Red Roof Inn, a super decent, no-frills hotel and totally fit the road trip vibe. Definitely gave classic motel energy, easy to check in, comfy enough, and nothing to complain about. Okay, so it is time to get into the rankings for Phoenix. We really enjoyed our time here. The whole drive from Sedona down to Phoenix was just jaw-dropping. We were literally sat there with our mouths open in the car the entire time. After a week in quiet towns and remote national parks, it kind of felt refreshing to be back somewhere with energy, even if we didn't have a pool to cool off in. So for that reason, Phoenix slides into 7th place on the leaderboard. After an amazing time in Phoenix, we packed up early and hit the road again, this time heading northwest through Arizona into a brand new state. Nevada. New state unlocked. And you know what that means. Before driving into the chaos of the city, we made a quick stop at Hoover Dam, a national historical landmark that honestly just blew us away. The size of it, the history, the engineering, it's one of those places you kind of have to see to believe. We did get a little souvenir time.
Let's go!
After soaking in all the views there, we hit the road one last time for this stretch and headed to our final stop of the video, Las Vegas. And you already know what that means. Welcome to Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world. This city is tucked right into the Nevada desert and is famous for its bright lights, massive casinos, world-class shows, and a nightlife that never sleeps. It all started as a small desert town, but after Nevada legalized gambling in the 1930s, Las Vegas exploded into what it is today. A city that you can walk from Paris to New York to ancient Rome, all on the same street. It's loud, it's chaotic, it's completely over the top, and we were so ready for it. When we arrived in Las Vegas, our mission was simple: see as much as possible, and we definitely delivered. We started off with, of course, the iconic "Welcome to the Fabulous Las Vegas" sign, because it's basically illegal to skip that, right? From there, we made our way up and down the strip, stopping at as many famous casinos as we could squeeze in. We saw the Bellagio fountains, wandered through Caesar Palace, and even made our way down to New York, New York. We tried out the buffet at Caesars, which, yes, lived up to the hype, and ended our night with a comedy show at Jimmy Fallon's Comedy Club, which honestly was hilarious and was such a fun experience and a bit of the Vegas nightlife. We also made sure to check out Fremont Street, which is a totally different vibe. More vintage Vegas, flashing lights, zip lines flying overhead. It's chaotic in the best way. Vegas was a lot, but the most fun and totally unforgettable. And you know what time it is? Souvenir time!
Let's go!
While we're in Vegas, we stayed at the D Las Vegas, which was right on Fremont Street, so, right in the middle of all the action. It was a fun spot to stay, especially if you want that vintage Vegas energy. Alright, let's get into the last rankings of this video. We absolutely loved Vegas, and honestly, it was exactly how we imagined it would be. Big lights, big energy, so much to do, and yes, we even dabbled in a little bit of gambling. Responsibly, of course. But that's the thing, Vegas lived up to the hype. There was never a dull moment, and out of all the cities we'd visited so far, the only one that compares out of sheer variety of things to do was probably Orlando. So for that reason, Las Vegas is officially sliding into second place. And that's a wrap on part 3 of our 67-day road trip around the US. From epic national parks to desert cities to the bright lights of Vegas, this stretch was everything we hoped for and more. We've hiked, we've explored, we've collected even more Starbucks mugs, and added some of our favourite memories of the whole trip so far. But the road trip is far from over. In the next episode, we're heading up the West Coast. Starting right here in Las Vegas, driving through California, Oregon, and Washington, and making our way all the way up to Vancouver, Canada. So if you want coastal drives, beach towns, national parks, and some of the best views of the whole trip, you don't want to miss it. If you've been enjoying this journey so far, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on our next adventure. We'll see you in the coast in part 4. P.S. You'll officially find out what happened to Josie.